Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down below the $60,000 mark, down approximately 2.5%, give or take, and Ethereum down below the $2,400 level, down approximately 2.5% as well. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are deep in the red. We have some good dips like Sui, Aptos, Phantom, and a few others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that we did talk about before. However, guys, it needs our attention, and that project is called OORT. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. Market not looking the greatest. We're seeing the market cap fall while the trading volume continues to go sideways to hold up with the amount of strength that it had basically before, which basically means that there is some market participation here. It's not like the market is completely ignoring this dip, but at least it's not going up. At least we're not getting consensus. We're not getting more of an inflow. However, market cap continues to drop. The thing that keeps me quite interested is that the market cap, although it is falling, it's still at about 2.2 trillion. Okay, so we're still doing okay. It's not like we fell below. Like, I've seen it much lower before. That's the reality. So I'm kind of like, okay, yes, we're coming down, but we're not as low as before. Could we come down and test the previous lows, especially Bitcoin, as it does roll over and come down, Ethereum as well, and some of the other altcoins. Okay, so we're gonna have to right now understand that it's absolutely okay to be in a short-term, maybe even mid-term bearish stance, and I'll have to shift to that level at this current moment, because yesterday when I did talk about Bitcoin, I made it very clear that if Bitcoin breaks the horizontal, breaks below the 200 daily EMA, we have no choice but to start to feel bearish here. Okay, we could wait for back tests, for confirmations, and then another lower low. That is all very possible. And of course, we'll talk about Bitcoin real quick and just use it as a leading indicator, and then we'll jump right into the OORT chart. I know a lot of us have been talking about OORT, some people interested, so why not give us a bit of an update? I do have an OORT deep dive that you can check out. It is in the deep dive playlist. Go check that out. I got a lot of deep dives, guys, and I also have one coming up on Sunday, so feel free to join, and obviously, click the bell so you don't miss out on that deep dive. Let's continue going down. What do we have here? We have Bitcoin rolling over, Ethereum rolling over, BNB rolling over, Solana rolling over. Everything is looking like it wants to fall. Yes, it's only down. They're more or less down 2.5 to 3%. The issue is that they're large caps. That's the biggest issue here. When you see larger cap altcoins roll over like this, you're going to see market cap fall. That's the truth. XRP at least is going sideways. We have everything that is related to ETH except Uniswap is doing really good. Now, could that be an indicator to us that maybe on-chain transactions are increasing? Does it mean that they're selling and that's why we're getting a bit of a spike? Or why are people holding the Uniswap token? Are they bullish? What's going on there with Uniswap token running? There has to be some sort of correlation. If the price goes up, usually it's a very positive correlation, right? To expect the Ethereum narrative to wake up. So I'm hoping, of course, you guys know that, I'm bullish on the altcoins. I am bullish on Ethereum to use it as a leading indicator for an altcoin season. And I'm bullish on, deploying capital at the right time. And it feels like we're getting to a level where we might want to start DCAing, right? Now, what I want to do also as I scroll through this top 100, and of course, join me live tonight. We'll get into a lot more details. Focus on the 7-day, price action. Really, we're not that bad. Reality is in the last 7 days, we're still okay. Like, some of these projects are still up. So you can see, let me just refresh this real quick to make sure that we got the latest data. You can see that even AVAX is, in the last week, it's not down. In fact, it's still in the green. We're down today 3%, but it's still in the green big picture. So we're still okay. Some of the altcoins are coming down. Uniswap, like I mentioned, is up 9.2%. It's up 21% in the last 7 days. Does this mean that, maybe the Ethereum narrative could be waking up here soon? But just keep in mind that Uniswap also does Binance Smart Chain, does Binance transactions. So that's also important to keep in mind. But nonetheless, guys, Uniswap should be doing good based off the fact that Ethereum is lagging. Maybe we're going to get a divergence, right? Using Uniswap as an indicator. If we keep on going down, guys, we're definitely in a dip. We're definitely coming down. We have SUI coming down. Guys, I was thinking about doing a SUI update, but I did cover SUI a couple of days ago. And SUI, reality is that setup, that whole conversation that I had in that previous video is still very valid, even though it is down 5.5%. Okay, so keep in mind, these dips are for buying. Yes, it's down 5.5%. I do appreciate more double-digit dips. Aptos is getting there, where we're getting down approximately 10%. Aptos is a project that I wouldn't mind scaling into. So ideally, we start looking for opportunities to deploy capital in some of the projects. And I'm wondering if Mantra is giving me an entry. Right, we'll keep on scrolling down and see what we got here. Look, reality is the market's still okay. Like, we're not coming down that much. I know it looks bad, but we're not doing that bad. Like, reality is we've been much lower before. So we got to keep this in mind. 3%. Okay, Phantom a little bit more, 6.8% for the day, for the last 24 hours. Not a good look, but if you look at a big picture, Phantom is up significantly from its previous bottom. So we have to understand that the market works in peaks and valleys. We have to understand that. And, good gainers are going to get retracements. Phantom has been a great gainer in the last little bit. So, at the end of the day, a 6.8% dip after a 60% run is nothing. So at the end of the day, pretty good. As we keep on going, we do have a bit of red here, Theta Network and a few others, 3%, 2%, Helium down 8%. And as you can see, like, on average, it's about 3 to 4% if you want to factor in some of the bigger dippers like Aerodrome, okay, CFX, another 5. But you have to understand, these projects have been doing good in the last little bit. So that's that. Where is, let's see, so how's Celestial doing? Dipping, okay. Mantra, giving me an opportunity? Absolutely not. Going sideways. Guys, what a beast, going sideways. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at some of this price action. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin taking a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at the OORT chart. Right now, Bitcoin looking bearish. I gotta admit, it's looking bearish. There is only one level, there's only one opportunity here for, that could get us back into a bullish state, but at the current moment, I have no choice but to be bearish. Let's talk about this in a little bit more detail. Guys, the reality is it's absolutely fine to have two sets of a thesis. The reality is, in the short term, in midterm, we are coming down very clearly. Big picture, I'm still bullish. Big picture, big cup and handle. Okay, just keep that in mind. Huge cup and handle, both on Bitcoin and the total market cap. Okay, so that's that. I'm just going to get that out of the way. My big picture focus is eventually to see this thing break to the upside. But in the meantime, we could definitely basically hang out within this structure. We're very matured into this level. You can see we've been going sideways for over 200 days, guys. The problem is in the midterm, I'm going to jump down to the 4-hour, is that we're breaking below horizontal supports. Quickly back to the daily. Look, we broke below the 200 daily. Guys, for me, that's not a good look. Every time we break down below the 200 daily, we come down for dips. So is this going to be a scenario where we come back down? Maybe 56,000? Is that possible based on the beginning of this, dip in volume and dip in volume market participation? Or are we going to come down to about 52 and test these lows and maybe use this jitter of price action right into here, this node of volume as support? You can see that below this level, below 59,500, we have very little volume. It starts to diminish. It starts to taper in significantly. So the reality is that we don't have much support unless we use these psychological levels of bottoms right here as potential support. That's why I'm looking at 56,600 potentially based on this bottom, this wick. And the reality is the volume indicator, the volume profile is giving me the indication that this is a level that we might want to see some emotion, and then we might get a bounce. So let's see what happens. happens. As of now, I remain bearish. What can I say? Any back tests on lower time frames should be considered opportunities to short. The reality is that's a good opportunity to raise some capital, to buy the dips. Now let's get into lower time frames real quick. You can see how this thing broke down below the horizontal levels of support. It broke below the white line, multiple horizontal levels of support, including the 200 daily. Obviously, it's below the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour. And now, you know, it's testing the point of control here, as you can see, just within this price action right here. Let me show you what I mean. Right into this level, we see a nice little node of volume right here that should act as support, but it's not. The reality is it's very likely that we, you know, break below much lower levels and start breaking. Now, I would love to see structure. I would love to see structure before I get, you know, bullish or anything like that, because as of now, it does look like it's some sort of, you know, corrective move. This is clearly an impulsive move on the 4-hour. Okay, now we're coming down. A, B, C. Are we done? Let's see, is it possible? Let's see what kind of extension level we hit. And that's a good way to see if it's done. It hit the 1.27. It's getting there. Could come down a little bit more. It could come down as low as the 1.618 extension. Okay, so this is the most bearish scenario, the absolute bearish scenario, before we come down for a double bottom and hit 53, 52. So I'm looking at 56,000, more or less, very confluent with the volume that I suggested on the daily. So I'm looking at 1.618, and I'm also considering that the potential of a bounce at 1.27 is also very possible right around here. So let's keep these areas in mind. But at the end of the day, I am midterm to short-term bearish and big picture bullish. So what does that mean as far as my positions go? That means I'm looking to buy dips and accumulate, because literally if Bitcoin starts to break out on the daily, eventually we might see a massive move to the upside on the smaller cap altcoins, micro caps, mid caps, and even the larger cap altcoins that haven't really got their move might get a nice move to the upside. We're even thinking about like Sui and Solana and all the hotter projects that a lot of people are talking about. Why not? Even Aptos and some others. Why not start scaling in DCA? Okay, guys, so keep that in mind. We'll touch base again on Bitcoin tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Feel free to join. I do take requests on any charts that you want me to take a look at, so it's a great time and place to join the community. All right, guys, let's take a look at what's going on here with OORT. At the end of the day, OORT is back testing perfect levels, and it's after a dead cat bounce. What do we have to be afraid of? A continuation to the downside. This does look like an impulsive move to the upside, a very nice strong impulsive move with good amount of volume. Okay, now we're getting a bit of a retracement similar to what we've expressed on Bitcoin. You can see A, B, and now what do we do with this C wave? Do we actually come down through the volume gap and complete it? It would be ideal to see that happen, and the reason why is, number one, volume gaps offer no support, very little support. The price action can fall right through. We do have an EMA. I want to see this is the 4-hour 200 EMA, but I want to see the daily. There is no EMA. There is no EMA. Not enough data. All good. All good. So let's get back onto the 4-hour so we can see the data, because really the daily doesn't give us much. The 4-hour is a lot better here on OORT. It's not a lot of info, not a lot of data. So we got to choose the time frame that's going to give us the edge. And I can see that the 4-hour might give us that edge, especially coming down through the volume gap. Now, I'm going to quickly, just temporarily, just move this out of the way, okay? And why I'm going to do that is because what I want to do is look at extension level, the same thing that I did with Bitcoin. Swing low to swing high, and we start looking at the 1.27 extension, which is at the bottom of the volume gap, very, very confluent. Yes, we can hunt more liquidity. We can come down here and get some people wrecked that didn't get the best entries here on OORT, right? But we could also get a bounce. So instead of playing a game, remember, it's a game of probability. Instead of playing the game and having absolute levels of certainty, it's better to DCA. Really, right now is still not bad. The reality is right now is still not bad of a time to buy a bit of a dip, maybe 30%. If it comes down, deploy another 30%. If it comes down here, deploy 40%. And over time, you're accumulating a decent bag for this back test to be done with. Now, I didn't look at the oscillators for Bitcoin. Wasn't really that necessary. Let's look at oscillators here for OORT. You can see that the momentum, let's get rid of this one for a second. We'll talk, oh, not this one. Let's get rid of let's get rid of this one and take a look at the momentum oscillator for a second. You can see, let me get rid of Fibonacci, because Fibonacci was confluent there with the 1.27, and the 1.618 is right into here. Okay, so if you look at the momentum, the purple line is stuck in the chop zone, fine, but it's likely to want to get oversold. Okay, it looks like it wants to get oversold. So there's two things here. Maybe it might not, right? We could get a nice little divergence here. It would be a class B bullish divergence, double bottom on the price action, and then lower low on the momentum, right? That would be a divergence right into there, and eventually maybe see a continuation to the upside. Also very possible. Okay, so that would be an ideal scenario. But what about if it gets oversold? What about if the purple line does get oversold and come down to this zone, which would mean that we would most likely see the price come down again, most likely, no probability. However, if we do get support here, you're going to be happy to get some skin in the game here. Now, you're not buying tops. Let's clearly identify the opportunity here to be buying in right now. If you're bullish on OORT on these tops right now, you're getting a 22% discount, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so that's healthy double-digit dip. Right now, if we come down, obviously the discount is much more. It's a nice psychological round number, 10 cents. That might be something to consider. We have a lot of volume for support. One thing that we also have to consider is that we have an EMA right here, the 200 4-hour EMA, which means it could get some support there. This is why the probability, guys, think about a probability. Volatility is already oversold, same ways as it was oversold here, same way as it was oversold here, and all these levels where, you know, typically when we see volatility oversold and we do get a bounce, we get some green. We definitely get a bit of green. However, we need to see the momentum in confluence with the volatility. If momentum is not trending to the upside, it doesn't matter if it's a volatile market. It will just make a lower high. So right now we can see the momentum's trending to the downside, right? And volatility pushed to the upside. It made a lower high because the volatility is going against the momentum. So what we typically would want to see here is momentum to get oversold and then start longing to the upside. However, guys, if the volatility does go back up and momentum continues going to the downside, you could definitely start looking for short positions on OORT to the downside if they do have them on exchanges. I'm not sure which exchange has futures on OORT, but you get what I mean. The reality is you could also prepare to take profit and expect a dip so that you can accumulate back down when volatility drops and momentum is oversold. That is the overall objective here, is to be able to buy low and sell high. Even if it's in a downtrend, you could always, again, sell high and buy lower. Okay, so ABC correction, again, very possible. Okay, 1.27 extension level to the downside, all very possible, courtesy of Bitcoin's dump, of course, or Bitcoin's dip. It's not dumping that hard. It's only down 1.7% as we speak, so no big deal. And OORT is up 1% as we speak. So you get what I mean. At the end of the day, let's take it for what it is. Yeah, we could fall through the volume gap, take full the opportunity, take it full on, buy the dip, accumulate, and then stop, and then wait to see what happens. Because technically speaking, back to price action, we want a confirmation low here. We want a higher low because we got a low right into this level. Okay, we got a low right into this level, right into here. Now we came up. Okay, that's great. Now let's come down and made a confirmation low that is higher than this low. That's what we want, because then we're going to go up for a higher high, and then we're changing character. Then it's a change of character. We break these highs, we break this high, we start moving to the upside with some urgency, and this starts to look really, really healthy. So we got some work to do, no doubt. We got a bottom to build. We want it higher than this bottom very clearly, and in the short term, we are still bearish because we are waiting for that bottom to be completed. You get what I mean? So short term bearish, midterm slightly bearish, long term let's wait for that bottom to buy the dip so we can go up for a higher high and start getting this altcoin season going. One last thing before I let you guys go, let's see what's going on here with the momentum. The momentum at the end of the day is still pushing to the downside. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars, and the expansion is still coming down here on the 4-hour. I would love to see an EMA cross with some green histogram bars before I get bullish again. So OORT is potentially giving us an opportunity to start building a position if you've been patiently waiting for one. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.